This video is on solving quadratic equations by factorising. Now I have x squared plus 5x minus 24 is equal to 0, and I need to solve this by factorising. I'm going to start my brackets here. So I'm going to have x here. Now I need to think of two numbers that will multiply to give me minus 24, and when I add them I'll get 5. Now I know these numbers will be 8 and minus 3. So I'll have one bracket where I'm going to have x plus 8, and the other one I would have x minus 3, and this is going to be equal to 0. Now I have something here multiplied to something here, so to get a 0 as my answer, I need either this bracket to be 0 or this bracket to be 0. So I'm going to have either x plus 8 is equal to 0, and if x plus 8 is equal to 0, then x must be minus 8, or I'm going to have x minus 3 is equal to 0, and when x minus 3 is equal to 0, then x is equal to 3. So I've got two solutions, either x is minus 8 or x is 3. Now in this next question I have another quadratic equation, and I'm asked to solve this by factorising. So I have 6x squared equals 5 minus 13x. Now, like the previous example, when I have 0 on one side and everything on the other side, when I factorise, I know one of the brackets needs to be 0, and that's how I can solve them. So I'm going to move the 5 and the minus 13x over to this side, because I want the coefficient of x squared to remain positive. So let's do that. So I have 6x squared plus 13x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now when I'm factorising these, I know I need to multiply the coefficient of x squared, which I call a normally, and this minus 5 here, which we call c. So 6 times minus 5, I'll do that here. 6 times minus 5 gives me minus 30. So I know I need to think of two numbers that have a product of minus 30 and a sum of, so a sum of this middle bit here, sum of 13. So a sum of 13. Now these two numbers would be 15 and minus 2. So 15 times minus 2 gives me minus 30, and 15 add minus 2 gives me 13. So I need to write this middle term as 15x minus 2x. You can do it the other way around, and I would recommend that you try that and then see what happens. So 6x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now I've decided to use 15x first and minus 2x second. You can do it the other way around, so do that and then see what happens as well. So I now need to factorize these two terms and then these two terms separately. So I'll do that now. So the highest common factor of 6x squared plus 15x is 3x. So let's factorize 3x, and I'll have left 2x plus 5. And here I'm going to factorize out minus 1. So minus 1, that would leave me 2x plus 5. Now it's a plus 5 here because minus 1 times 5 gives me this minus 5, and this is going to be equal to 0. Now I have a common factor of 2x plus 5 here and 2x plus 5 here, so I'm going to factorize that. So 2x plus 5 times, I have 3x and minus 1, so 3x minus 1, and this is equal to 0. Now again I have something here times something here is equal to 0. So either this bracket is equal to 0 or this bracket is equal to 0. So let's write that. So either 2 2x plus 5 is equal to 0, and in this case 2x would be minus 5 and x will be equal to minus 5 over 2, or 3x minus 1 needs to be 0, and in this case 3x will be equal to 1 and x will be equal to 1 over 3. So I've got two solutions here. I've got x is equal to minus 5 over 2, or x is equal to a third. Now I have some questions here for you to do. So solve the following quadratic equations by factorising. So solve all of these by factorising and then bring that to the lesson.